I'm 19 years old, going on to 20 soon, and I've been learning physical activities pretty steadily over the past year. Growing up, I was always into sports, but my mom and other people that she was influenced by didn't allow for that seed of potential to grow. As a kid, I loved learning all kinds of sports. The only time I could play sports was at school, during recess and lunch, and sometimes on the weekends when my uncle would take me and my brother to play basketball. As I went on to middle school and high school, the chance to play sports was slimmed down. I was constantly told that studying hard and getting good grades is what got you into college, which will then make you successful. This is the typical Asian immigrant mindset. I continued to play sports during school lunchtimes, and I started to learn to dance as well. Dancing was easier to do than organize a sports game, so it definitely took more priority. But I had a limited time of practice because after school I was to do my homework and spend a couple hours copying down SAT words. At that age and in that kind of environment, you can't tell your authoritative figures that you know better than them. There was no convincing them that I should play sports over school. It just didn't make sense to them. I remember asking to play soccer almost every year from middle school to sophomore year of high school and being shut down every time. I cried several times because I felt that I had no power over my life. I cried because I wasn't able to pursue my passions. I remember I wasn't even allowed to work out after school for an hour in the free gym because my authoritative figures thought that I wouldn't do anything productive with that time. And it sucked because I couldn't do something that I enjoyed and was actually good at. During the summer of sophomore year, I decided I wanted to go into a military academy. I actually had the support of my authoritative figure, and she actually explained how great it was to my parents. When applying for the Air Force Academy, I saw that the military academies preferred candidates that had played sports or had proof that they were physically active throughout their high school career. I knew it was now or never. I told my mom that I was going to do sports regardless of their opinions because I needed it to succeed in my path. And so, in my third year of high school, I joined the cross-country team for the fall. I needed to build my endurance to prepare for winter wrestling. This was the first time I actually learned how to pace my running. I lifted weights 3 times a week on the side to build muscle, and then I joined wrestling during the winter. This was one of the most physically and mentally demanding things that I've done so far. All of these activities were struggles, but everyone was struggling with me, so that's what made me enjoy it. It's not some sadist thing, it's just we were all fighting physically and mentally to get better every day. I had a sense of accomplishment after each day because I knew I contributed towards improvement. And I found that after each session of working out or playing a sport, my mind was clear, I was happier, and I was ready to go out and just finish whatever needed to be finished. I didn't have any laziness about me towards doing homework or anything like that. There is a real physical and mental reward in physical activity. Taking part in all these activities, which may seem pointless or childlike or whatever to some people, has helped me live a much more happier and full life. Once you get past learning the mechanics of a certain physical task, such as dribbling a ball, you don't really think about each small movement and reaction. It becomes second nature and your mind is empty. You focus on executing a more complex task, and in that moment, that's all that matters. I would say that most of the time, if not all of the time, after a session of leisure sports, you feel happy, proud of your work, and overall more positive. But I also see from PE classes in school, there are many students that don't seem to enjoy sports. This is likely due to their social environment as a kid. I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to sit here and diagnose everyone in the world, but what I think is I was lucky enough to have my uncle encourage me to play sports as a kid. And I also had other people tell me I was actually good at it. So this kind of reinforcement and attention is what drives me and other kids to continue playing and improving in sports.
Throw it back.
In contrast, if I was not praised for my skills at a certain thing, then I would be a lot more discouraged to keep trying. I think this can apply to school, to any other kind of activities. If there's no good feedback, you're probably less inclined to do it. But even if you fall under this category, it's not too late to change. It's going to be uncomfortable and even a bit embarrassing to learn a new sport or a new activity because you're not going to perform like an elite pro. You've never done this before. But I think that if you and a few friends try out something together, the whole group will be pushed to trying their best. You'll have others to help you and cheer you on, and you can reciprocate the same to them. For me, I was very conscious of not being great at things, so I would often not do anything in front of other people. It took me a while to realize that none of these people will remember if I mess up, nor do they care. And I won't remember this anyways. It was all in my head, telling myself I wasn't good enough or I looked stupid doing something. Once I got past this barrier, I was able to improve at things and be happy about my successes. I remember my successes and pivotal moments more than the failures. The value of my happiness far outweighs the value of feeling embarrassed in that very moment. Now, I don't think I was ever especially good at a specific activity because I never won awards or anything like that. I'm a generalist because there are too many things that I like, so I couldn't put all my eggs into a basket. So I know I can't ever become a professional, but that doesn't stop me from trying to learn new things. Awards and recognitions should not be prioritized over having fun. As cheesy as that sounds, if you're not having fun, then those awards won't really mean anything to you. They're just something you struggle really hard for and don't seem to really care about. Like with wrestling, many of the wrestlers had been wrestling since they were younger, like 4 or 5, and I had no prior experience. I never actually won a official season match. I never won at all, actually. But I did improve my body, my mind, and I had lots of fun experiencing the sport. So in a way, I won against myself. I pushed myself every day, and that's what matters to me. Athletes generally deal with knee pain. I've had a torn meniscus for several years, and I couldn't really repair it when it first happened, so I'm kind of stuck with it. And with the torn meniscus, it had a lot of injuries, and I had to sit out on matches, I had to sit out on performances, and in that time sitting out, I realized that our body grows old fast. Like 1 second, you're running, you're jumping off everything, and very soon, everything hurts. You wake up, your back, your knees, and everything just hurts. Pretty soon, I will have to be more cautious of physical activity because injuries will start to take a toll on my body. It will take longer to heal, and I will have to be able to work, and I can't have the freedom to take a few days slower because I rolled an ankle or I broke an arm or something. So I'm using the remaining years of my youth and ability to do things that I've always wanted to do. I started skating because I've always wanted to. My parents didn't let me as a kid because it was a lot of potential injuries to deal with. I started playing sports leisurely because I have the freedom to. I still have the ability to. I can still run, so why not run? I can still take falls, so why not fall? I can be lazy anytime, so I won't do it now. I realized that I will be able to remember how I progressed in learning a new skill, but I won't remember anything significant about scrolling through social media for hours or just watching YouTube videos mindlessly. I want to build this habit so that I can positively influence others. As technology advances, more and more people are plugging into the world inside their phones, tablets, and computers. Kids don't play outside anymore. I developed lifelong athletic ability because my friends and I played outside all day as kids. We climbed things, raced through the neighborhoods, and did a lot of kid shit. I think if inactivity is that influential, then there's a great possibility in using healthy activities as a positive influence on others. I have a younger sister, and I realized that everything I do will affect her life. She asked me why I skate when I'm already grown up, and I told her the same thing I said earlier. I wanted to do it ever since I was a kid, and I can't wait till I get any older. This doesn't have any immediate results yet, but I truly believe it will help her become a person that chooses to chase dreams and interests rather than conform and be afraid to push against the grain. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful to your own life. I will continue to try to put out more content like this. I recently got a webcam, so I can probably try to record more indoors instead of sitting in the car and just talking to my phone. But yeah, until next time, goodbye.